Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode of Nerd Up. This week, I've got Mandy Kennedy.
Hello.
Asa Gray.
Yes.
And I'm your host, Jesse Kimball. And if Krista Francis just walked out the door,
Her coat's still here.
I need you to at least come and say hello on the microphone.
Just
because she wouldn't agree to be on the show. So, all right, here's a former Nerd Up crew member, Krista Francis.
What up, peeps?
She did it.
She did it. That's all
so
she's
happy.
got for us, I guess. So yeah, she'll be in the peanut gallery tonight. We've also got Josh and Justin up here. Did you just say yeet?
She's stealing my shtick.
It's
that I stole from you.
Chill out, Jesus. It's fine.
Jesus.
And Stephen Bright's here.
It's Yeats by Gray.
Yeats by Gray. That's right. That's what you went to.
That's the one that won. That's the one that won the vote. And I'm a man of the people, if nothing else.
All right, so now to make Mandy a little bit happier, because right now bad things are happening in the sports world. Wonder Woman 84 is in the can.
Good.
It's officially wrapped filming.
I want it now. Right now.
Soon.
Now.
Soonish.
Now.
Someday. Unless WB keeps pushing stuff back. But it's at least in the can now, so it should be good to go.
Yeah, they can't scrap it. They have to give it to me.
It'd be real dumb if they scrapped it.
They would have lost so much money.
So much money.
They have
they did
to give
that.
it to me.
Plus, they put it in a better spot, too. Like, it was a later spot, but it's a better spot.
Right. So sports things are happening,
Can I
so
just
there's slight distractions
leave
here.
the recording for a minute and murder Josh?
The peanut gallery.
There won't be sound, so no one will know in the background.
It won't be on.
There won't be evidence.
But the screams might pick up.
He can't scream. Look at him.
I wasn't talking about him.
Yeah, no, it'll be like the war cry.
The battle cry.
All right, so moving on here because we can't keep getting too distracted by sports stuff. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina has been renewed through season 4. Netflix has a ton of confidence in Sabrina.
That lawsuit went real well.
Yeah, it did. I think they settled out of it.
Yeah, they settled.
But they never said exactly what happened. I think the term that I kept seeing was resolved. So I don't know exactly how that ended. But anyway, yeah, that all went well. We knew that they were getting 2 seasons at least because that was how they poached Sabrina from CW.
Yeah.
By saying guaranteed 2 seasons. And I guess the first season plus the Christmas special, which I haven't watched yet, were popular enough. Yeah, they released a 1-episode Christmas special.
Huh.
And I guess those have done well enough that they're like, you know what? 2 more seasons. Make it happen. This is doing real well. And maybe that, Satanist church issue gave them even more...
Well, probably gave them a lot of publicity.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Well, and I've seen a bunch of things of like YouTube clips from I don't know if it's late night shows or just YouTube channels of they brought on the original stars from Sabrina the Teenage Witch and we're showing them clips or episodes and filming their reactions. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was kind of funny.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Because they were pushing that's probably one of the most advertised things Netflix has right now.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Because I see it everywhere.
They're putting a lot of resources behind Sabrina, and it's working apparently because, like I said, Netflix canceled the Marvel shows. Obviously, there's other stuff involved there, but I mean, I'm sure Netflix has the money to have put up a better fight than what they did. Because a lot of people I started hearing there was a lot of just not great return on those Marvel Netflix shows, like Luke Cage and Iron Fist anyway.
I don't know how they got any return. Because, I don't know jack about business. I don't understand how Netflix can afford to make, we're going to put $1 million and give it to Max Landis to make Bright. It's going to be the most expensive thing we've ever made. Mm-hmm. But they're not selling anything. They're not selling...
I mean, every month they're selling...
it's their membership fees, but at a certain point, how much are you spending versus how much are they bringing in? Because Netflix as a company is ridiculously in debt.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought they were doing real well.
No, yeah. I thought they were not losing money, but they owe a lot of money.
So I didn't think that was true at all.
I just figured
Let me get
they
that
had
pulled up because there's
truckloads.
Mm-hmm. Because they have, multi-millions of people are subscribed to Netflix paying $10 every month.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, that's a lot of money.
October 22nd, let me see, from Variety.com, Netflix plans to raise $2 billion in new debt to fund content spending.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Like, basically, that's they're taking out a loan for a ridiculous amount of money that they intend on paying back.
To make more content so more people buy Netflix.
Right.
As of September 30th, Netflix reported $8.3 billion in long-term debt, up 71% from $4.89 billion a year prior. But if they're making money, shouldn't that number be going down?
Right.
I mean, if they keep borrowing more, then
I feel like at some point
I mean,
you can't let them borrow more.
Can I just go to the bank and be like,
Yeah.
I would like to borrow money, please?
I mean,
I would like
more?
to continue just borrowing money, please.
Yeah.
as long as you're paying
Yeah,
it,
I'll pay it back.
as long as you're actively paying it back, which is what it sounds like Netflix is doing. And yeah, you can do that in real life too. Banks might not do it, but I know some lenders that as long as you keep paying back like their minimums, credit cards will do that.
Yep, they sure will.
Yeah, but my credit card's like, yeah, but we've already given you've spent enough, and I'm paying them back all the time, on time.
Wait a minute.
Trying to-
Oh, no, never mind.
Did we lose everything?
I'm not going to talk about it.
No, he's trying to make me happy,
oh,
but he
you're
was
talking
just
about
ruining everything.
No, it was, anyway. Moving on here. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, 4 seasons, good stuff. Also, Disney has confirmed a Pirates of the Caribbean reboot, and it will not include Johnny Depp.
Like all of the movies?
I think they're just going to start from scratch, like with a new set of everything.
Which that's fine. That's probably for the best at this point, because I have not heard anything good about the movies past the third one.
Yeah,
and
I haven't
including
even-
the third one.
I only liked like the first 2, I think.
The last one was really good, I thought anyway. But yeah, the one, I think it was number 4, the first one without Orlando Bloom was not great.
Yeah.
Dead Men Tell No Tales, I think is what
I think
that
I stopped
one was
watching
called.
after 3 because I was not on.
I really
That was
did
the
not-
hype for me, and then I was done.
I really did not like the third one, and so
So-
I didn't see any of the other ones after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, I
Like the
wasn't
first one
really-
was epic, and we were like, "Oh my god!"
Mm-hmm.
And the second one was good, and then there was the third one, and I was like, "These aren't as amazing," and I'm kind of done. So
Yeah, the third one was pretty meh. The fourth one I didn't like at all, but yeah, I think it was the fifth one was solid. No, I think the most recent one was Dead Men Tell No Tales, and then the one before that was the one about the Fountain of Youth or whatever. I
Sure.
don't remember.
I don't remember.
No.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It's been a really long time since. Like I saw the first 3 in theaters, and then I've seen the first one a handful of times because it's on like cable at this point and
yeah,
other viewings. Which it'll be interesting to see if when they say reboot, like if they do it focusing like on a completely new cast of characters, or if
Yeah.
it's going to be Jack Sparrow.
yeah.
And if they do that, like who they're going to get to play the character, because that is like arguably one of Johnny Depp's most
Best,
iconic roles.
yeah, I feel like it should be completely new characters
Steven left.
Oh, okay.
because I feel like they're not old enough to completely just do that same story with different characters already.
Right.
I feel like if it's like crazy old, then you can, like they're doing with other stuff, but Pirates isn't as old, so I feel like a different storytelling with different characters would be cool.
I'm trying.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with how not great they've been. Though
You
Yeah.
saying it like it's not that, which I guess it's. Oh, that's not a new story.
I mean,
at
I
all.
know they came out when I was they started coming out when I was in like 6th or 7th grade. Or maybe 8th, 7th or 8th, maybe.
I don't remember.
I
It's been a
feel-
while.
'cause
Yeah,
I remember
it's-
us talking about Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom. But
I don't know if we talked
like-
about this on but you saying like because it's not new enough for them to like use the same characters again.
Mm-hmm.
They're rebooting Shrek.
I saw that or heard that.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
What? Why?
I don't know either. I
I love that first one. Though.
Because they're redoing all the Disney ones, so the other companies have
It's
to
like,
do that now
we can
too.
remake our franchises.
still just wish that we would have gotten the Chris Farley version of Shrek.
Honestly, I don't know. Like I'm not saying that he wouldn't have done a great job, and maybe it's just because.
The lines are out there.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, you can. He got like 80% of the movie or something like that done when he died.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can actually go and listen to the lines he recorded, and I think that it would have been better than Mike Myers.
Because I did enjoy Mike Myers a lot in that.
I did too. Like I'm not saying Mike Myers
I
did a
like
bad
those movies
job.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's just Chris Farley was a national treasure, and Yeah. And I'm all reminded of him recently because Adam Sandler did that stand-up bit on Netflix where he had the
musical dedication.
Musical tribute song to Chris Farley. And never did I thought I would tear up at an Adam Sandler stand-up special.
Yeah.
But it happened.
You qualified it with stand-up special because I'd be like, I saw Click.
I also saw Click. And
I got a little misty. Yeah. Watching Click, which I was very upset at.
God, that movie
I was like,
sad.
how? This is not what I signed up for. Right. This is not the movie
I signed up for Adam Sandler not to cry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because fortunately he managed to turn it around before I really started crying during that scene, like when he flips the guy off instead.
Yeah.
It was funny. But that was a good movie too. I liked that a lot. But either way, yeah. So for those of you that haven't watched that stand-up special on Netflix with Adam Sandler, it's actually pretty good. And then it ends with a Chris Farley tribute that's extremely touching. At the very least, y'all should YouTube that. It's good stuff. So anyway, Men in Black International got a trailer. So we got to see Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson in action under the UK division of Men in Black, with some Liam Neeson in there.
I didn't know. We probably talked about it when that casting was announced, but I completely forgot that he was in it. So when he showed up in the trailer, I was like, "Oh,
surprise!"
Okay, I'm very much on board.
Yeah, I'm on board for this movie in general.
And the idea that she knew the Men in Black existed and finally tracked them down. I loved that idea. Him as this rock star super
top
agent.
Yeah.
Everything about this okay. I was pretty lukewarm to it, but watching the trailer and I'm in. You got me.
Yeah, no, I'm all in on this movie. It looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about it, which I did not think I would be.
No.
I loved the casting whenever I heard Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, but then I actually saw that in action. I'm like, oh, okay.
I didn't see it. I meant to go back and look through. Did you see the framed portrait of K&J?
Yeah.
I love that. See, this is the kind of reboot that I like, in that it's not starting over, it's just expanding the world we already have.
And they acknowledge, the original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm digging. I'm for it. I'm so excited about this movie.
Yeah.
The other trailer we got this week that I'm also more excited than I was before the trailer, we got the new Hellboy.
I was amazed at how much better I thought this trailer made the movie look.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned it on the pre-show a little bit, and I talked about it with Shannon. I don't remember if we did it on the show or if it was before, but I was never I'm not a huge Hellboy fan. The reason I like those first movies is because I like Guillermo del Toro, so I'm gonna watch anything he puts out. Mm-hmm. But the character itself doesn't do a whole lot for me, so I don't have that affinity. Mm-hmm. Ron Perlman was great in those movies, and those were fun movies. But watching this trailer, and David Harbour seems to be doing his best Ron Perlman impression, but it works really, really well. And it seems like this movie has a lot of spirit to it. Just there's a lot of humor. Someone said they're going full MCU. Yeah,
which I think it was Hunter that said that they're going full MCU and it's working.
Yeah,
because the trailer made that movie look really fun. Mm-hmm. Manny, what'd you think there?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
know nothing about Hellboy. So
I reckon it looks just like a fun.
It looks weird. The screenshot that's in the chat just looks weird.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean it's
everything Hellboy's gonna look weird.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it won't have a lot of the extra characters like Abe Sapien's not making an appearance, or there's another Hellboy character that's really popular that's not. I don't.
Honestly, to me that's fine. Keep it focused on
Hellboy
at
least
himself.
for the first movie.
Yeah, and then you can kind of build out from there if they do decide to franchise this.
Right. Which I imagine this making a lot of money.
I mean, and also I feel like at this time, if a movie studio can squeeze as many movies out of something as possible, they're going to, and they're going to plan for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what's that thing do? It smashes stuff.
Does it do anything else?
It smashes stuff real good.
That trailer was so good. Mm-hmm. It looks
a little
really funny, a lot of action.
Only nitpicky thing, and that's in every trailer at this point, is whenever they show them with the horns and the halo and stuff, be like, you didn't need to give us that in the trailer.
Yeah, that would have been a cool thing to see in the movie. Because now I'm curious about what exactly that's going to be about. But.
Right, which gives you, and it kind of gives you that tease of, okay, well, what's going to bring this out of him?
Right. But at the same time, it's like that would have just been really cool to see, like,
see that they do
be
that.
surprised by that in the theaters. Similarly to like How to Train Your Dragon 3, like
that trailer. So I saw the trailer of that before Spider-Man.
Yeah, we did too.
And watching the trailer, I was like, I need to go watch these first 2 movies.
I'm gonna cry
because that trailer for the third one looked sick.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so good.
Like,
They're all good.
incredible.
It looked like super dark, and like I love that aesthetic. The idea that there's just this like dragon hunting like army going around. Like, okay,
I feel like I'm
on board
gonna
with
cry.
this. The toothless parts, I was kind of like less funny. Like, give me that kind of dragon movie though. But yeah, so now I got it. I think I'm pretty sure I've seen the first one.
I hope so. For your sake.
The first 2 movies are legitimately fantastic.
Yes.
Like they
are really good about
animated films.
spoiling in the trailers though, because I remember the second.
Oh my god, yeah, because that's what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah, but I didn't know if we wanted to spoil it.
I mean, there's the trailer. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer of the Lost Dog movie.
Yeah.
That then shows
gave
the
you the
reunion
entire movie.
in the trailer. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
The Dog's Way
cool.
Home or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I made it home.
Saw
Well,
that
I don't
scene.
need to see the movie because I know he makes it home or she makes it home.
Yeah, they literally gave us the entire plot of that film. Like dog
All the way through.
Really, yeah,
Boy
like
gets dog. Dog grows up. Dog gets out, runs away. Dog tries to make it back home. Befriends a cougar because
Save someone.
saves
life.
someone's life. Like, it's like showing like a 2-minute version of Forrest Gump, like with all
Yeah.
the biggest, the greatest hits.
do you guys remember like
the trailer ends with him like, it can't be, and the dog running back to him like, what?
Yeah, no, like
Unless that's a fake out. And like that's like 20 minutes after the dog's run away, and he's like, oh, it can't be. And then it's a different dog like running to someone else. Like, it turned and look, and it's just a golden retriever.
Probably, but the dog makes it back.
Well, yeah.
no, this was almost certainly like that's not a fake out. Like that's almost certainly what happened. And yeah,
It's we can't make people wonder. Imagine the sensitive people that are watching this that might.
They won't see it because it's going to be
They can't handle
sad.
the wait for the movie to come out. Like, they have to know.
They need
They
to
could
know.
cause some serious problems if they are left thinking that dog Bella's just out there.
But then we got the Lego movie trailer.
Okay.
I didn't get that actually.
Really?
Oh,
I got
I didn't
it.
have
I got
that.
it. I got it in front of Spider-Man and Aquaman. And the second time seeing it, I'm like, I'm so ready for this movie.
That and Dragons both come out in February, and I was like, why?
Did you draw dots of stubble on your face? No.
No,
Right?
what? I thought you were looking at me legitimately about to ask me a question. So I'm so glad I saw that trailer.
Archaeologist, raptor trainer.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
That was literally I started hitting Justin, and I was like, oh my god!
You need to watch the trailer.
It was-
It's so.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had a trailer for it. Like I just missed that entirely.
I love the Lego movie, the first one. It's legitimately one of
Yes.
my favorite movies ever. And this trailer looks the second part.
Yeah.
It looks so good. Also, I do have a newfound respect for that second Godzilla trailer now that I've seen it in theaters.
You got that one in theaters too?
Yeah,
didn't get
that one
that
was
one.
before Aquaman.
Okay.
And it's one of those like, okay, I can seeing this like in theaters for the full effect of everything.
And
But
I'm
I
going
still
to see it in
but I
theaters.
still think there's just too much people.
Like
Like,
probably will be since they paid, then again, she can't be that expensive because she's a child actress, but Millie Bobby Brown.
oh honey. Also, I need to see her in a happy role, please.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many times I can see a small child like break down and cry.
Yeah, that
In
she,
sheer
she's-
terror,
She
like-
has not had like a good
She doesn't
life in
play
any
fun
movie
roles.
she's been in.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
doesn't play fun roles.
She's probably like the happiest person too.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we got to meet her at ICC. Well, I say meet her. We got to see her at ICC.
We saw her
yeah.
live.
Yeah, and yeah, she seemed perfectly happy and fun, like etc. But
Because she can recognize that she's not those characters. It's just a
Right.
job.
She can, but can people?
Apparently, I can't.
so yeah, we also got moving now to less cool stuff. We got a first look at Aladdin, which everything looked great except for Genie.
I don't even think Aladdin looks that great.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I guess I just should think he's hot. Because,
You
Because
need
as
him
a
like
child-
60% more shirtless.
like, and just like he
the
needs to be
formative
hotter.
years.
Like, as a child, that was my prince crush. So real life Aladdin needs to be like, oh hello, and he's not. He's just
'cause he-
standard guy, which I get. He's a street person thing in the. It's
you
just,
censored Street Rat.
Yeah,
well,
right?
I didn't know. I started saying, and then I was like, "Is that okay?" Because
As
we're
far
all
as I know.
That's the line from the
sensitive.
movie.
Right. Yeah, they that's
Unless
what
we
they call
get
them.
like we go watch the movie and all of a sudden they
Yeah.
never say it
It's-
once. It's
yeah.
like, oh no.
Yeah,
We
because
made a terrible mistake.
obviously the original cartoon, he just had the vest on,
Mm-hmm.
and then like muscled and everything underneath it, like or toned. I guess
Well,
I
and
should
also
say.
had the flowy hair.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And this was a little bit more realistic in that respect as to where they are located. But yeah, no, he's very much wearing a full shirt. And it's the same thing with Jasmine when we got to see her. Obviously, she had midriff and barely anything going on in the cartoon.
Imagine that.
But in the actual movie, she's fully clothed.
Right.
I thought she still had like a crop top on. Oh. It's still pretty looking though.
Because that was one of Shannon's complaints. It's like, Jasmine, no midriff, not watching it. Yeah, no, she's still pretty, but yeah, she's not like the scantily clad version we got in those, Disney
Which
movies.
looking
for
back
kids.
now and talking about it, it's like, yeah, that was a children's movie.
Yep. Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing when I'm sitting here mentioning it. But yeah, we also got to see Abu. Abu looked fine.
Did we see a boo
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
it
that-
is covered.
in the cover?
Not on
No.
the cover, but
I
like
did see a picture
Oh.
of Abu though.
yeah, there were more shots of it inside that
Oh, I
article.
missed that. Oh yeah, that isn't midriff.
I know. I saw
It's like the cover.
They did like
but it's,
lace,
but it's
so
her,
you
it's her
could.
skin tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like at first glance it might look like it's midriff, but no,
It is not.
It's complete covering. Looks almost
Also-
like a corset.
Now that I'm looking at it, Aladdin almost looks like he's wearing like an outdoorsman like fishing vest.
Huh.
that ain't great. But really, I didn't think we would spend this much time talking about them
As much as Will
when
Smith.
Will Smith is standing back there
With his
with
top
that
knot.
beard and the top knot and the stupid and he's got because apparently there was the backlash. Like we weren't the only ones that are like, oh, hard pass on him because he's like, no, I will be blue. Just for whatever reason, we decided that first impression isn't going to actually be what he looks like. It reminded me, we talked about it way back when. Remember when we got our first look at Apocalypse from the X-Men movie? And he was purple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, he's going to look right in the movie. And he did.
Because he looked like Ooze.
Yeah,
like he
it was
looked like
why
Ivan
are you
Ooze.
why are you looking like Ivan Ooze?
Yeah.
Like, why are you showing us this? Like, I don't know why Entertainment Weekly is making these choices of like, we're going to show you characters, but not what they actually look like. Mm-hmm. So I will reserve some judgment for when he looks like he's actually blue, or like to see what he actually looks like in the movie. But like at a glance, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Especially because the thing we talked about in the group chat of whenever the genie transforms to anything, he always keeps his face.
Yeah.
It's comically somewhere in whatever he transforms to.
Yeah, and I don't. Will Smith just looking like Will Smith as a car though.
With his regular human face just blown up, like
Yeah.
super huge on
I
it.
don't.
Yeah, no, that sounds awful. So yeah, I want to see what he's gonna look like in the movie, and maybe that was just his like costume that they're gonna CGify.
Right.
I don't know what exactly was going on in that cover, but it wasn't good.
No.
Need to see what they're actually gonna do with it.
Because and it's the thing where it's like, okay, I get it, you're doing a live action, but when you look at what they're doing with the Lion King,
Yes,
and I know this is a huge thing
right.
for Dalton, like, well, everything in Lion King is CG, so it's not really live action. It's just made
Yeah.
to look live action.
Okay, but we
you
can
do
go-
that with Will Smith.
We can go to Beauty and the Beast. That was really good news live action.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, I just mean like for the number of effects that they use.
Oh,
So like
yeah.
Genie could just be
A CGI
gauntlets,
genie.
shirtless, and then the red sash, and then the wisp.
Yeah.
And
all
then
below.
voiced by Will Smith.
Right, which again we don't necessarily know isn't going to be that, but I think like you saying voiced by Will Smith, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting
Yeah.
basically the cartoon version,
Right.
slightly more realistic looking, slightly, but still very
just-
much the blue genie.
But and then just voiced by Will Smith. And I
Right.
Yeah.
and I think like
That's
it,
what- yeah.
it literally took you saying that for that to click in my brain. I'm like, oh, that's why I don't like it. Because I didn't want to see Will Smith as the genie. I wanted to hear it. That'd be fine. But if
But
it's just
instead-
Will Smith walking around like Will Smith, then
Because I think
that
it's
ain't-
going to be a lot of, if not Will Smith walking around, it's going to be Will Smith with the wisp.
Yeah, or
like
like, yeah,
CG'd
floating
over
around.
his, under his midriff.
Yeah.
Which, fine, I guess, but
Hopefully
it's
we see him in a trailer.
right. I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get more trailers as it comes closer to release. But anyway. All right, we spent a little too much time on Aladdin, I think. So we got the Doom Patrol teaser hit, which,
That looks fun.
Yeah.
I don't really care about any of those characters. I'm really that they're putting Cyborg in a TV thing.
Yeah, and not the Justice League version.
Right, after their whole complaint about, like, we don't want to confuse moviegoers by including the TV characters in the movie.
Yeah, well, no.
Or whatever, or we're not going to use the TV actors in the movie.
It wasn't even that. Like, they didn't want... Harley Quinn was the one. Mm-hmm. Like, they stopped Harley Quinn from showing up in the Suicide Squad arc in Arrow. Because they didn't want to confuse viewers by thinking that, you know, those characters already existed, which is just a ridiculous argument since obviously the Flash was already there, and now they clearly don't care because in their own content that they are producing, they're putting Cyborg out, and they're still planning on doing a Cyborg movie. Yeah. And they're going to be two completely different characters.
Oh, God.
And they even look completely different. Like,
honestly, I like this version better than what we got in Justice League.
But I hated the Justice League version. I thought the Justice League version looked super dumb.
Yeah, it didn't look great. No. I didn't hate it as much as you did, but I definitely like this one better.
Oh yeah, this one
also Brendan Fraser is going to be in it, so
yeah, at some point
I might give this one a shot.
I haven't seen Brendan Fraser in a long time.
Dalton said that he liked the Doom Patrol episode.
Yeah, because they had like a sort of like a, what do you call it, the
backdoor trailer, backdoor pilot. Yeah,
they had a backdoor pilot. Yeah, I don't know. It looks neat. It looks fun. Cyborg looks, like I said, way better than Justice League, but I'm still not sold on the DCU, and I won't be until Young Justice hits. Mm-hmm. And then I'll probably start watching through a lot of stuff. I mean, well,
now that Titans is ending, I think, like the season finale is either this week or next week.
I thought it like last week or this week.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was last week.
It might have been. I know it's like upcoming or had just recently happened.
Yeah, because apparently it's big news that Batman's in it.
Yeah, and it's gonna be, and it's Robin versus Batman,
right?
Because apparently Batman has now crossed the line, and it's up to the Titans to stop him.
Folks couldn't see my eye roll. Just know that it was there.
They might have felt it.
Yeah, somehow they heard it. Mm-hmm. I'm not exactly sure how, but they heard it. So either way, I might check it out. Like, it would be low priority though. Basically, when Young Justice airs, I'm going to watch Young Justice. Then I'm probably going to watch all the way through Teen Titans, and then if I have any time left, I'll check out one of the other DCU shows.
Yeah,
because I just don't care, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
because I love those characters, but they're not proving anything to me.
Nope,
they're not selling me. All right. So first we're going to do here real quick an Aquaman spoiler-free review. Ace is the only one at the table that has seen it, so I'm going to just go ahead and leave this one to Asa. Hit it, buddy.
It was fine. Like, I think I would have liked it a lot more if I hadn't seen Spider-Man literally the day before.
Yeah, you probably should have reversed that.
Yeah, but I didn't want to wait anymore to see Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Fair.
There was like when I went to buy my ticket this morning, I was like, I mean, I could just see Spider-Man again. But I enjoyed it. I liked it probably. I liked it better than Justice League. It's not as good as Wonder Woman, of course.
Well, nothing's.
But I mean, it's one of the better things that the DC, whatever it's called now, the Worlds of DC.
Yeah, Worlds of DC Universe.
It's one of the better ones that they've done. There are a lot of really, really cool moments. A lot of the visuals are really cool. The practical effects are very hit and miss because some of it kind of looks cheesy and campy, but others look really, really cool. The scene with the trench is genuinely really, really cool to see. There's a lot of Jason Momoa was a lot of fun in it, but it's very much just Aqua Bro.
I kind of figured that was going to be the case with Jason Momoa. Like, he was going to be fun to watch. He was going to be fun to look at in the role, but outside of that,
it's done well. Like, I mean, yeah, it's him and Amber Heard who are just wet for like. Which I was thinking, like, this movie must have sucked to film because it's just constantly wet in Maine is where it's set, so it's not even like a warm beach.
Ew,
and then there's an extended sequence in the Sahara, so it's like you're out in the middle of the desert. Like, that must have sucked to film. It is entirely too long. There are solid chunks of the movie that just drag and at the same time kind of feel rushed a little.
Shoehorned.
Yeah, shoehorned in. Like, okay, we got to get these characters in, and we have to give them their full arc. Because it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like they maybe realized, we're probably not getting a sequel. We may not be getting a sequel.
Yeah.
So.
And that was my big complaint with Justice League. Like, the number of people that are like, all right, we got to do the backstory on this. We got to establish these characters real quick and try to make you care about them so you'll care about the rest of the movie.
Yeah, there were a couple, especially, and like right at the beginning, loaded in the beginning, there are a couple that are supposed to be like really intense, heart-wrenching scenes, and they just don't land. At least they didn't for me. But I mean, and like I said in the group chat, it's a solid B movie, but with a AAA budget, so everything looks really cool.
Yeah.
I would give it a matinee, honestly, just because some of the, like, especially like the trench scene, the majority of the fight scenes are really, really cool and look really cool. It does a lot of good, but not like MCU good. At least not MCU at its best. Like, I would say this is probably better than like Thor or like the first Captain America, because I didn't really like those movies all that much.
Right.
But it's a solid matinee, like a solid matinee popcorn. Turn your brain off.
Watch Jason Momoa and Amber Heard be wet.
Right. And fight people.
Yeah, I know. Like the critical review has not been great.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think a lot of the aggregators that I've seen have put it around like 60 to 65%.
That sounds about right.
And then the fan ratings though have been significantly higher, like upwards of like 85 to 90%.
Honestly, this is probably
reviews.
like I'm not defending it that much, but like this is probably like my Venom, in that like the critics hated it, but then like its fan base was super into it, because I wasn't super into it, but I overall, like, I'm not mad that I went. Right. Especially at the discounted price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna go this morning, but it was at 8 a.m. and I was like,
and that's when I went.
Ugh.
Yeah,
that's when I went and saw that Aquaman and Into the Spider-Verse.
Because that was the only showtime this morning for the discounted price was 8 a.m. So I was like, I don't need to see it that bad.
Yeah, yeah. There was, like I said, there were stretches that I got actively kind of bored in, and just a lot of unnecessary storytelling elements, especially at the beginning. Like, they really had to. There's two characters that they really needed to establish their relationship, but it's in the weirdest time placement. It's like, no, you're not going to have this conversation now.
Yeah.
But they did, because they had to get it out there. But
so yeah,
matinee. Check it out.
Fair enough. And now the movie that everyone at the table did see, and what I guarantee I know the review for everyone at the table, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The Sony animation Spider-Man movie in association with Marvel, not related to the MCU or even the Venom movies or anything along those lines.
Although they could tie that in, and that would actually be super interesting.
Tie it into the MCU?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or the Venom universe, or both.
Right,
because
it absolutely
it's
could.
The multiverse.
Yeah, because if you guys haven't seen or heard anything about this, it's all about the multiverse. It's something's going down, and 5 spiders have come into one Spider-Man's universe, and they have to stop the big bad.
Wasn't the way that I thought it was going to be from the trailers. Mm-hmm. Like, I assumed it was going to be, person moving into this other one and has to make his way back, but instead it's everybody's joining up with this other one, and
then he sends them.
This movie, it's perfect.
It was fantastic.
Like, when we got the trailers, I wasn't super sold on the art style. That went away almost immediately after I saw some of the things that they were doing with it. It was phenomenally acted.
Yeah.
It was so even the soundtrack.
Oh my God! Yes,
the soundtrack was incredible.
And it's a style of music that I don't particularly enjoy. Mm-hmm. But when they tied in like the theme song for the movie, that Post Malone song, when they tied that in and gave it kind of an emotional attachment to one of the characters. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm super into it. I've listened to it like.
Oh yeah, when we got in the car, I was like, and Spider-Man. It's like Moana.
Right, yeah, you can go on Spotify, Spider-Man. There it is. That soundtrack.
Like and then the fact that this is a cartoon is amazing, because everything that, there's something to be said about comic book movies being made in real life, being like trying to look like realistic, and they didn't have to try to do that. No. That last fight, like the climax of the movie, that fight scene.
Holy crap.
Was beautiful. They were able to fully lean into it being a comic, or like into it being a cartoon.
Yeah.
This movie was a love letter to Spider-Man.
Because this was less like, I mean, it was a cartoon technically.
Yeah.
But really, it looked like a comic book that had just been put into full motion.
Yeah.
Not like, your standard motion comics and stuff like that where there's slight movements and everything. Yeah, it was a comic book with like the sound effect, bubbles and everything popping up, just put into full motion, and it was incredible. Like, it unreasonably good. And
it was directed well too.
Yeah.
Like, it was directed like it felt like these are shots that would be in a live action movie that they would try to get.
It's fantastic. And they even did some really cool cinematography with it, which just like, you don't expect to see that in like this kind of an animated feature.
All of the characters felt super developed. Like, there wasn't anyone in there that wasn't necessary, really. Like, they all felt like they had their own motivations, and just I loved this movie so much.
I actually enjoyed a Spider-Man movie, everybody.
You did.
I did. I like it.
She made it all the way through a Spider-Man movie.
I did.
The important bit.
No, I liked it. I like Miles very much.
Yeah, Miles is great.
I also like the one Peter, but I'm probably just biased because it's Nick Miller in a Spider-Man suit.
Jake Johnson as that Spider-Man was incredible because, like, I could see him, like, voicing it.
Yeah,
and, like,
I know.
I could see him, like, behind the mask when he was suited up. I was like, oh, man, if he was...
And plus,
I'm mad that we're not in the universe where he actually got to play, like, a live-action Spider-Man.
Yeah, because that would have worked beautifully. Because the whole thing, like, I wasn't aware exactly, like, whenever we saw the trailers, you see what like his version of Peter Parker is, and it's not really clear that, and it's not a huge spoiler to say he's not the Peter Parker of that universe,
right?
Yeah,
like he's one of the other. Well, no, it's not a spoiler at all. It was in the trailer, because he talked about like he did the French fry comparison in the trailer, and you see that Spider-Man and you kind of hear him talk, you look at his face and everything else. Like, I remember seeing that, thinking that like that was their interpretation of the main Marvel universe of Spider-Man,
and I was the same way, and I was kind of down on it, because I was like, oh, that ain't Peter Parker. What are you doing?
But then, like, they actually give it to us, so it's like everything about it makes sense. He's Peter B. Parker, and it was fantastic.
Did you catch who played the Peter Parker of Miles's universe?
I actually missed it.
It's Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Yeah,
that's
and
fantastic.
then Gwen is Haley Steinfeld, which is an I guess apparently now an actress, because I'm pretty sure she's the main chick in Bumblebee, but I like her music as well.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh my god!
Gwen was the one I was talking about earlier when I was like, I know there's one character.
I thought it was gonna be the diva looking Spider Girl, and I was gonna be like, dang, you're gonna wait me till almost the end of the movie to tell me I was gonna like it? Yeah, no, I like Gwen.
Even like Spider-Ham was used perfectly.
Yeah, he was.
At first,
and John Mulaney as Spider-Ham.
At first, I was like, what is this guy? What? Why? And then he had a few good lines, and I was like, okay, but I still wasn't fully on board with him.
Can you float through the air when you smell a pie?
So weird.
And but like the movie was funny.
Yeah.
Like there were parts I legit laughed out loud. There were multiple parts that I teared up.
Yep.
If didn't actively, just like, oh no.
Okay, but like Kingpin. The ugly looking.
Yeah. That was an interesting art choice.
And like, like at one point he like got out of the Escalade thing, and Justin was like, he can't even fit in that.
Yeah.
And we're like, I was like, I don't.
Comic books. It's a cartoon. It's a
I'm
cartoon.
like, and his like behind his neck and shoulders was like 5 feet taller than his head.
Yeah, he was a walking like cube.
It didn't. It was so terrible, and he had like a quadruple chin. Like. No.
But at the same time, like stylistically with everything else in the movie, I dug it.
No.
Like he was probably my
least favorite. He stuck out to me.
He was like my least favorite of the character designs, but I still like.
And Liev Schreiber voiced him.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. My only other issue is the beginning of the movie, like the opening credit scene, because I was doing that glitchy thing, which I liked at first, but then it kept going and going and going, and I was like, Jesus, I get it, but it felt like it went on for 10 minutes. And that was a lot for me. But the rest of the movie was really good.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed this movie. Absolutely full price. Like, I might even see it again. I paid full price for this movie, and I might see it again at full price.
I think the soundtrack helped kill it for me, too. Like, because that's a lot input on my movies, and the soundtrack just lined up so well with it.
Yeah, no, I have zero problems with this movie. I can't think of anything to nitpick about.
All of the like little references to other Spider-Man media, movies, games, comics, Just there were so many little touches. B. Bendis being one of Miles's top contacts.
Yep. And that was even like on the comic book whenever they popped that out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, that was one of the credits was B.M. Bendis. Brian Michael Bendis created Miles Morales.
Oh,
this is the
That's cool.
This is also a movie that, like, not only is it full price worth seeing, this is a movie that should be seen in theaters. Because, like, the sound design, the soundtrack, the visual style, like, the way everything works, like, even the end credit scene.
Oh, yeah.
Did
you see it in 3D?
No.
Because I'm thinking, like, when I said I'm thinking about paying full price again, I'm thinking about going back and seeing it in 3D.
Man, 3D always gives me such a headache. Like, it's one that I would probably try just because I like the movie that much.
Yeah, it'd probably seem really cool.
But 3D always ends up giving me a headache.
That's
like kind of motion sicky.
Because I don't usually have that problem with 3D. So yeah, but I think that this is one movie that could be improved by 3D.
Yeah.
And since everybody's kind of given up on 3D, Blu-rays and stuff, this would be my only opportunity to see it that way.
Yeah. But man, this movie, it's like, it's so good.
I give it full price.
Everyone just killed it. They made me care about Prowler.
Man, that was
cool.
upsetting.
He was so badass. Like, that is a version of Prowler that, like, I didn't think, but, like, they added enough to where he was, like, legitimately terrifying.
Yeah, because that is the Ultimate Universe version of Prowler.
Right.
Like, all of Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery was way scarier in the Ultimate Universe. And, yeah, like, that version of Prowler, they just... Even the music that went along with him every time he showed up was just
his theme.
Yeah, it added like an intensity to it, which was just.
I want to go see it again. Like, let's just go now.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about all of Prowler's scenes. That was so good. But anyway, yeah, and there's a lot of moments in there that I legitimately did almost like I almost started crying there in the theater. It was just like, oh no, not now. Not
like
this.
I'm glad I'm by myself and there's no one else like around me.
Yeah, I was in a different city.
Are you not gonna see any of those people again?
Right, like I'll never see any of these people again in my life. I don't care. I shouldn't care. Yeah, no, it was so good though. All right, that's gonna do it for that portion of the podcast. The next portion of our podcast is brought to you by our wonderful friends in Perryville, Missouri at Villainous Grounds. We've used a lot of times. We got to kind of speed through the rest of this. Arkham Knight is getting a comic book debut in Detective Comics number 1000. We have confirmed that it's not Jason Todd.
We'll see. They also said in the game that it was going to be an all-new character.
And it was not.
And they lied.
Yeah. So, sorry, spoiler for Arkham Knight if you haven't played that by now, which is better this time than the first time that it was spoiled on this network.
The day of, or like the week of.
Yeah, like 3 days after release, a certain special guest spoiled it. That is not promotional artwork. If that's the image that you're using to promote this appearance, this debut, you're doing it wrong.
Was that the picture I showed you?
Yeah.
I didn't think it looked bad.
But it's not what you show to get people hyped.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It was very basic. It's one of those buy 2 prints, get 3 free, like that you see at every Comic-Con. Like, it reminded me of one of those. Like
yeah, I can see that.
Like
then.
fan art. But that said, I'm going to buy it. Jesse?
You keep talking.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I thought you had there was something you were gonna say.
Nope.
Because we're supposed to be rapiding.
Listen. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. I thought you were gonna keep going with.
No, that was it.
Yeah, fair enough. PS4 Spidey is getting a 6-issue miniseries called City of War. Be written by Dennis Hopeless, Michelle Bandini, coming out in March. So yeah, the PS4 version of Spider-Man is hitting comic books, getting its own series.
I would be more on board if they like included people who wrote, which maybe it did. I need to look that up. But if it was because the Spider-Man game was so well written and was such a good, it was possibly up until Into the Spider-Verse, this was one of my favorite Spider-Man stories.
Yeah.
And they had such a love and care for the universe that had felt like lived in and established. So I really hope that they're including people who wrote on the game to write the miniseries.
Yeah, and because honestly, they didn't have any real detail about what this is going to be about, because it seemed almost like this was going to be a comic book adaptation of what happened in the video game, which would be less than ideal.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that is what they were leaning toward, or if they were just talking about what the video game was like in that article, because they just needed to fill more words.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure all the information we have is from the solicitations for that month from Marvel.
Okay.
So I don't know much more than that though. Like all we know is usually with those solicitations we get a cover and we get the artist and writer is typically all we get. And it'll, since it popped up like 1 through 6, so we know it's a 6-issue miniseries. So I don't know. Another miniseries we're getting is Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, or GLOW, is getting a 4-issue miniseries from IDW also in March. Don't have much detail about that.
So is it like from the show GLOW and they're putting it into a comic book?
Probably.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah, because the show was super popular, both seasons.
Okay, I got you.
So yeah, I don't know much more about it though. I didn't even see a writer and artist combo on it.
Oh yeah.
IDW is also relaunching Transformers in March. March is going to be a big month for comic books, guys.
Yeah, seriously.
That the Transformers comics were a lot of fun, but it was one of those where it was going on for so long, and it was hard to just kind of jump back in if you weren't familiar with the lore. So if this is like a jumping on point, that could be super cool.
This Transformers book, from my understanding, is supposed to set up the war for Cybertron. So really early launching off point. I don't even think they're going to be on Earth.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, no, I could read it.
Probably won't pick it up, but
get a trade or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see, Dynamite is reviving the $6 Million Man, which I don't know why, but that's happening in March too.
They need to change the name because Steve Austin he's taking that over. You don't get to call a character Steve Austin and it not be Stone Cold.
That's true.
Unless it is Stone Cold Steve Austin as the $6 Million Man.
That would be
fantastic.
Watch that. But it's not.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be written by Christopher Hastings with art by David Hahn. It's going to be set in the 70s and just pick up where the show left off.
Okay,
apparently.
good. Because I was going to say, if this is a modern day thing, they're going to need to up the price.
Yes.
Because $6 million ain't that impressive anymore.
Right.
It is really not. At least as far as building a
bionic Superman.
Yes. Yeah, it's $6 million.
$6 million would change not only my life, but everyone I know. It would change their lives too.
Yeah.
But
For that, it'd build you a leg.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
No. $6 million would take care of me for life. It would not make me into a bionic individual, though.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's going to be set in the 70s. Because I thought the same thing, and then I looked at the article, and it was like, 70s. Okay, cool. That makes way more sense. Just going to pick up from that show. So anyway, that's all the information I got for that, other than also in March. Again,
What?
March, huge.
Big month.
Yeah, because we talked about it last week, because I think March is going to be the 80th anniversry of Marvel.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out of that as well.
Oh, so many one-shots, I bet.
Oh, God, probably.
Hear that? That's my wallet screaming.
One shot for every single. And maybe you'll have taxes by then.
Yeah, but that's all going to something probably already.
Yeah.
Truth.
All right. This next portion of our podcast brought to you by our friends Josh and Alan of Press Start to Join. You find all of their content, including their social media links, on ps2jshow.com, including the final Wednesday of every month, they do a History of Gaming episode. They're all interesting. The most recent one was Smash Bros. In honor of the game releasing.
Yes.
That's a series that's really easy to just go back through their back catalog.
Yeah.
And listen to all.
Yeah.
Especially because I know they're taking. He said that they're taking December off for shows, or a chunk of December. I don't remember exactly what he said, but then his computer went down, so there's plenty of content that they have put out there that you can go back and either listen to for the first time or re-listen to kind of hold you over until they're.
Yep, because those History of Gaming episodes are pretty fantastic.
They're really well done, and they're really interesting, yeah.
Very well researched. All right, so in video game news, we got Spider-Man PS4 has added a free skin for everyone that has the game. As a Christmas present from Insomniac, you can play with the Spider-Man costume from Sam Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man, which... I mean, it's whatever you think about the movies.
It's an iconic costume.
Yeah, the costume was fantastic, especially back, in that time.
Right, early 2000s.
Yeah, looked super good. I've always been a huge fan of the Raimi costume. Even like the black suit looked pretty good. It just wasn't my favorite version of the black suit.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite version of Spider-Man, which is a bummer. Which is why Spider-Man 3 is my least favorite movie of all time.
That can't be true.
No, it is. I don't think you understand.
Fair. You do have that. Although, I don't know. Into the Spider-Verse gave me kind of a all-new affinity for the Spider Universe, like in general, because it made me realize that, oh, I like Batman because it's like the detective stories are really good, and also like the Rogues Gallery is great, but also there is something about that just kind of dark, brooding, visceral storytelling. But then Spider-Man is like the other side of the coin. It's light, it's fun, it's quippy, also has great villains, and just it's high energy and light. So it's like, oh, wow, I do love Spider-Man so much more than I thought I did. Someone who's knocking on the door.
That's something for I think Krista to deal with.
Oh, okay.
Well, she was the one knocking.
I did push it on Krista. It's over there. It's plugged up.
What?
Don't worry about it. It's unrelated to anything. We can talk about it later.
Tech deal.
Anyway, yeah, the Spider-Man PS4 Raimi skin. Yes.
Also, just real quick aside, this is not because a bunch of internet trolls threw a fit.
And there should be another cable over there too.
It's not because they
get that charger.
started whining and complaining about the fact that Insomniac went on record and said that they were not working on this and this was not going to happen. The amount of time Greg Miller did a really, really good kind of Twitter rant kind of explaining and breaking this down of like all of your negativity did not win.
Yeah.
This is something that they have been working on for a very long time, and probably due to a lot of legal reasons, because this had to go through Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Games, and Sony, and probably 2 divisions of Sony, movies and games.
Yeah.
This is going to use the exit door and just unlock it, because it's just twisty. They probably could not talk about it.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
They could not make any sort of announcement. It's not because there was a vocal minority that threw a really toxic fit for a while.
Because you would think that it would be really easy since it is all in-house. Like, it's a Sony-owned game on a Sony-owned platform with a Sony-owned, like, everything. Like, you'd think it would have been way easier to make that happen, but... Yeah, no, there probably was a whole lot of like hoops they needed to jump through to make it happen.
On top of the fact that just putting that level of work into a video game is not something that just takes a few days and is a reactionary thing. Like that's going to take weeks, if not months.
Yep. So yeah, that's cool. If you've got the game, which if you don't have the game, you should because it's pretty fantastic.
It is one of the better games. Like it is one of my top games of 2018.
Yeah,
Hands down.
Absolutely. We mentioned that on the Thursday show. Like that's one of my games of the year because it's just so good. All right, Halo Infinite will have a 4-player split screen, and that's going to have Reach style customization,
which is neat.
Yeah, Halo Reach was probably one of my favorite ones to play online. It was just super fun, and the customization options in Halo Reach were also just great. And I know Halo 5, I didn't really play much of it, like at all, really. But yeah, I didn't even know they took out 4-player split screen in Halo 5.
I did just because it was like when that happened, that was a pretty big sticking point when that game first came out. And it's why I was convinced that like no one was playing Halo 5.
Yeah, no, not many people were or are. There is I found out 343 said there's going to be a special unlock you get in Halo Infinite if you reach level 125 in Halo 5.
Good God.
The online?
Yeah.
Well, looks like we're going to be playing some Halo.
I already own that game.
All right.
Yay.
We can all play
Game
Halo.
Pass?
Yeah, Game Pass.
That's why I have it.
Same.
I didn't buy the special edition Halo console or anything like that. But anyway, yeah, I've got that game, and it's we can make that happen a little bit because we did play it a little bit before Black Ops 4 came out, and we're having a bit of fun.
We enjoyed
with
it.
Yeah.
We were bad because we didn't know what weapons or maps or anything like
even
that,
though they only put us on like 2 maps, like the entire
really
night we played it. I kept meaning to look up if there actually were any more because I feel like it's just you would think, but how unlikely is it that we were just gonna? Because I'm not exaggerating, folks. 2 maps. The entire we were
just
playing
bounced back and forth.
Yeah, we were playing it for probably a good hour and a half one night, and yeah, just 2 maps over and over again.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I don't understand it entirely. Maybe it was just because of the mode we were playing, which I thought was just regular TDM.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Either way, Halo Infinite I'm really excited about because I mean, if you know me, you know I'm a big Halo fan and have been for many years.
Ever.
So yeah, I'm kind of excited for this game, and they said they're going to feature a lot of things around Halo Reach and how that multiplayer went, which good news because Halo Reach's multiplayer and campaign, really, the campaign was also fantastic in Halo Reach, even though you didn't know exactly how it was going to end.
I mean, it's the same thing with like Rogue One. Any kind of that kind of prequel story that's based on in a specific event.
Yeah.
But it still very much was like, I still love that story.
Oh yeah, the Rogue One was great.
The way it
Reach
ended too, where you're just fighting the Horde.
Yeah.
Oh, that
so good.
I wanted to do so much better. I wanted to beat it. I can survive.
Yeah, because it gives you that false hope
of survive the Horde. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, it'll let me respawn. It'll let me respawn.
No. Yeah, that game was so good. Anyway, all right, and the last little bit of news we're going to talk about here, Dead or Alive 6 landed themselves an M rating from the ESRB.
What are the reasons? Jesse, read the ESRB.
So there's some pretty extreme violence,
which real quick is surprising because it's a fighting game, so it's all about violence, but I wouldn't put that.
So an R rating for that.
That heavy, like that kind of a heavy rating for it is kind of shocking.
Well, obviously, like if it wasn't for the next bit, it almost certainly would have just been T rating because I'll explain what the violence they were talking about. But yeah, where the real M rating came from is the quote questionable level of fan service that's in the game. To the point where, like, okay, so if you guys are unfamiliar with the Dead or Alive franchise, this is going to get a little adult. I'm gonna try and stick to
Zane cover the ears.
I'm gonna try and stick to as little language as I can, but
or pay $1 for the pre-show, and I break it down real easy.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So the Dead or Alive franchise is pretty famous for certain anatomical uniqueness that it provides with physics
Jiggle
engines.
physics.
Yeah, there you go.
Jiggle physics.
Jiggle physics is a thing in this game. This is the franchise that brought you an Extreme Beach Volleyball edition.
Multiple.
Multiple. Yeah, there were two. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's always kind of been that way. Mm-hmm. Like it was originally done with Team Ninja, and they've always kind of had that stuff in those games too, like the Ninja Gaiden games and stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's just kind of something that's in the game. It's a really fun 3D fighter, but
I just got so much more excited for Ultimate Alliance 3.
Oh God!
On the Switch.
Brought to you by Team Ninja.
Oh God!
We're gonna have Spider-Woman with physics. Spider-Gwen with physics. Anyway.
Oh, Spider-Gwen's in that game.
Probably.
You do now.
All right. Yeah. One of the things that you can do in the game, like one of the big parts they mentioned specifically, you can take pictures in the game. Like there's a camera mode similar to like how Smash Brothers works, where you can kind of pan around and do all this stuff. Yeah, you can do that in Dead or Alive, and you can go up skirt, you can go down cleavage, like all this stuff, and take pictures. And apparently there's even like some hidden Easter eggs, like one girl's underwear. Like if you manage to catch it at the right angle, like when her skirt or whatever is flipped up, it says. All right, and I pardon the language here, but the direct quote is "eat shit" on her underwear, which just that's in the game. And then the violence part of it, and again, this level of violence, T rating, because I mean that's just how the ESRB works. Nobody cares about violence; they just care about what we were talking about a second ago, jiggle physics. Because the extreme violence, they added what looks like similar to Mortal Kombat, like an EX system, but there's not actual X-rays for it.
Right.
You just get punched really hard or kicked really hard or whatever, and it goes kind of slow-mo.
Yeah.
You can see them getting hit. It splatters like blood on the screen.
Okay.
And maybe like, I don't know, some sweat or whatever, but yeah, like that hits the screen. But it's not like Mortal Kombat level where you're watching like bones shatter and all this other stuff. You just watch like really hard hits get delivered in up close and slow motion.
I'm not super familiar with the DOA franchise. Fighting game franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, me and my little brother played Dead or Alive 4 a whole lot on the Xbox 360 because one, it was one of the only Xbox 360 games that had released at that point, and two, they had a Spartan in it from Halo. which
cool.
was really, really neat.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
And Jake and I had played Dead or Alive 3 a little bit on the original Xbox and liked it quite a bit. The counter system was really interesting, where you could counter and parry certain like incoming attacks. So yeah, Jake and I played that for a little bit, and then we got Dead or Alive 4, and we put a lot of time into that. Jake got really, really good at the parry system, which was really, really obnoxious. Because he would just wait and parry every move I threw at him. Really unfortunate. But anyway, yeah, that's I never played Dead or Alive 5. I know Shannon's a big fan of the Dead or Alive franchise, so he would probably have more to say about this. But yeah, we had an M-rated Dead or Alive game, which I think that's their first M rating. Like all the other, except for Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Yeah, those were rated M.
Those were rated M. But yeah, I think the rest of the Dead or Alive games are all T-rated, if I remember right. I might be wrong about that.
I don't know.
I'm going to look that up real
It
quick.
doesn't matter. The internet's the lawless wasteland where anything can be said or done.
All right. Yep. All right. So that's going to do it for us, though, folks. If I was wrong about that, I apologize, but I don't think I am. You can look that up for yourselves if you really care that much, but I don't. So that's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we're not going to be here next week. All next week, every show's off. We're taking off for Christmas. So just a very quick Merry Christmas.
Yay.
Thank you guys for listening. We love all of you. You're what keeps this going. And yeah, or enjoy your holiday, whatever you choose to celebrate. And we'll see you next time.